to our live stream. We're live streaming. We're talking politics. We're taking calls, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll take calls. We're talking the Joe Biden impeachment that won't. The Republicans finding themselves particularly mullered at the moment. They don't have the votes to impeach Joe Biden in the House. So it looks like Joe Biden will not be impeached. And that's something that I don't know if it's good or bad for Biden. I don't know if that's something that Joe Biden will regret, badge of honor to be impeached these days. We also have some results in the primaries that don't matter. We'll take a look at them. We'll see whether or not they matter. And a celebration of this enterprise, the PX3 enterprise, becoming fully video compliant. For the first time ever, a full video version of the podcast went up on YouTube yesterday. Politics. I miss Doug. Yeah, you want to know what? Doug, what a great dude, man. I've known Doug for years. Great time. Great time with Doug. Great time. I'm reading this. This is the other big news here today, and that is the TikTok vote. Joe Biden might not get impeached in the House, but TikTok is facing dire consequences almost assuredly today. But the big question is, why is Donald Trump not for it? He invented this. He was the first person with authority to say that TikTok was a national threat, and now, not so much. So here's the skinny on that. And by the way, as part of our PX30 episode that is live now, we have an interview with Tom Merritt about this whole situation. If you followed Tom on this, Tom is very skeptical of the security claims about ByteDance and TikTok. And I do think that he is correct in the idea that there are a lot of Chinese companies. If we are going on the operating idea that any company that is based in China is essentially spyware, well, we got a lot of spyware apps. Ultimately, what distinguishes TikTok is the culture element. The fact that we are in a fractured media world and TikTok controls a far larger element of media and culture than a lot of people. I mean, like right now, TikTok is king media. Sorry, guys, my nose exploded. So how would, I assume, El Condor Pasta here says, how would banning Twitch be enforced, though? I assume you are talking about TikTok. The TikTok ban, all right, so let's walk through exactly what this says. This bill that is going to pass with bipartisan support is opposed by the Squad, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Donald Trump. That's a crew. That's a crop. That's a crop. Look at that crop. The Squad, MTG, and Trump all roll into a bar. They say, what's on your For You page? So, first things first, this is not a ban outright. This is a call to divest from ByteDance. ByteDance is the parent company that was founded in mainland China. It is now headquartered in Singapore. It has a Singaporean CEO. So the call would be to sell TikTok, the American company that was formed when ByteDance bought Musical.ly, to an American buyer. The last time that we went around this, China said that there would be no sale of the algorithm. And let's be clear that while TikTok's user base is something that any company would want and would certainly pay top dollar for, the algorithm is the secret sauce. In the intervening 4 years since we went through this with Trump, YouTube built a competitor and Meta built a competitor. By all likelihood, or by all observations, either have as good of an algorithm for waterfall video as TikTok. TikTok is good and continues to get better. So, what you're going to hear a lot of is that this is not a ban. This is not a ban. This is not a ban. This is a call to divest. And that is true, right? But we do need to be realistic of exactly what that means and how likely it is, which is, at least to our knowledge up till now, unless we hear something different, not very. Okay, so they don't divest. They have 6 months to do it. This is going to all happen right before the election, by the way. And Joe Biden's name would be on it if it does indeed pass the Senate, because he said that he will sign this. By the way, TikTok didn't see this coming. They thought Joe Biden joining his campaign, joining TikTok, was a sign. We're not getting banned this year. Not so fast, my friend. So how does a ban work? Well, it works in 2 ways. Number one, it would be delisted from app stores. So you would not be able to find it on app stores. That greatly reduces your market for mobile. There is a world where apps exist outside of app stores, but they are not popular. They're not TikTok popular. The second, and I've heard some talk of this, that there would be a reliance on internet service providers to throttle TikTok data. We'll see exactly how much that is used. Would you be able to get TikTok? Yeah. I mean, but also you're able to buy heroin on the internet. It doesn't mean that it's easy or legal. So that's where we're at right now. People might just pirate. Sure, but this is not a physical good. This is a lifestyle. People spend hours on this app. You could use a web app. Not really. Not if it's a service provider thing. If ISPs are blocking it, then no, a web app would be annoying as well. Now, you could use tunnels and Tor routers, and you could do. It's not the technical solution is impossible. Of course it's possible. But again, you can buy humans on the internet. Doesn't make it easier legal. And so we would be pushing more toward that than we are right now, where things are very easy. And that's kind of the delight of TikTok as a user, of which I am. Justin R. Young. We post in our clips there. Does the legislation require ISPs to block? As far as I know, yes. Now, I have not read it, but I guess we can. Can somebody find? Let's find it. Let's actually have it summarized. Let's do a little online research, huh? Bill to ban TikTok. Full text. Here we go. Let's see. HR. What is the actual HR bill on this? TikTok is centralized. It's easy to kill. Yeah. I mean, you can make it very, very hard for people to access it. That's the biggest thing. Can somebody help me? Go to old Chat GPT. Search the internet to find the. TikTok is so centralized; it doesn't have the lobbying protection of us big data brokers. You know, there's a whole nother story to this, which is about the lobbying. So TikTok right now has two gigantic. I mean, it has the MAGA people and it's got Trump, but yet Donald Trump cannot so easily kill a TikTok divestment bill as he could an immigration bill. Makes you think, IMO. TikTok, meanwhile, has said, hey, wait a minute. Where's our buddy Oracle? We made this whole deal with Oracle to put all of our stuff there. Oracle's got tons of lobbyists. They're not doing nothing. And Oracle's probably sitting there saying, yeah, we want to be a part of the package that buys your user base, even if you're not going to ever sell us your, even if you're never going to sell us your algorithm. What the hell? Search the internet to find the bill being voted on today about TikTok. If you really want to destroy them, they should make them sell to Yahoo. Listen, just bring back Vine. Why won't we just bring back Vine? Okay. HR 1153. Can you find me a PDF of HR 1153? Tencent should buy TikTok and turn it into a game. Apparently, the straw that broke the camel's back here was the Hamas situation. After October 7th, there was an intelligence briefing in the House that basically said TikTok juiced the algorithm to increase visibility for videos about Hamas and anti-Israeli videos. More so than they would for another kind of conflict. That, for representatives, was a sign that this is China looking to actively destabilize America. All right. Looks like ChatGPT gave me a link without a link. Yep. Find the link for me again. This link did not work. There was a big push recently to ban foreign countries from buying data on U.S. data brokers, mostly because it's easier for hacking Experian in smaller countries. I have been consistently blown away with what you can get from data brokers, man. It's nuts. There we go. What? Why can't I click? Is this some kind of sick joke? Whatever. Full text. Oh. Deterring America's Technological Adversaries Act. Let's get PDF. Give me that PDF. Where is it? Here we go. I have not tried yet. Let's do a new thing here. Oh, yeah. Let's go to that. Upload my thing here. Where the hell is it? Gemini will make TikTok a black-owned business. It's really funny. No, date modified. Right. Did I not download that? Download link file. Okay. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Summarize this. We're living in the future, friends. The bill starts with its findings on the national security concerns associated with apps like TikTok, highlighting its potential for data collection, influence operations, and espionage due to its Chinese government ties. Detailed definitions are provided for terms such as sensitive personal data, foreign person, and connected software application. The bill outlines the imposition of sanctions on certain transactions. How does the bill call for banning TikTok app store listings and internet traffic? Wait, this might be the wrong bill. If this bill passes, does that mean that Trump can shut down Hassan Abi for saying that the United States deserved a 9/11? Unless Hassan is secretly running Twitch and juicing his own stats for influence, and he is run out of mainland China, probably not. The funny part is Control F fine. Well, not if we have the wrong thing. That's what we don't know. Okay, I think we have the wrong. We got the wrong thing. What's the problem with this shit? Is you never really know what what fucking bill is happening. I'm nervous of Congress passing bills because they're so out of practice and we probably get sloppy. Okay, powerful House committee, a measure. Here we go. Here we go. We have the bill. All right. Now we will go to upload. Desktop. How am I getting along with a self-heating mug? Mine stopped working after a few months. It doesn't heat up as long as it used to, but it still heats up. It's heating up now. You can see the the white light, the white hot light. All right, here we go. We got it now. The bill proposes specific technical and legal measures to prohibit the distribution, maintenance, and updating of foreign adversary-controlled applications such as TikTok and any related applications or services developed and provided by ByteDance and entities under ByteDance's control. The technical solutions are prohibiting services from distributing, maintenance, or updating. It would be unlawful for entities to provide services that distribute, maintain, or update foreign adversary-controlled applications within the U.S. This includes services through Marketplace, online mobile application stores where the U.S. users may access, maintain, or update such applications. So, app stores and anywhere else that you would put stuff on your phone. Prohibiting internet hosting services. The bill specifically targets internet hosting services, making it illegal for them to enable the distribution, maintenance, or updating of such applications. Internet hosting services encompass various forms of hosting, including cloud hosting and virtual private server hosting, which are vital for the operation of online applications. So that would essentially take out Oracle. Right now, through Project Texas, the deal that TikTok and ByteDance made with the Trump administration, Oracle is operating their entire data set here in America. All of TikTok's data runs through Oracle servers. It is a separate company, technically, that has federal government officials on their board. This takes that out. Data and information portability. Before the prohibition takes effect, the entity owning the controlling and banned applications must provide U.S. users with all of their data related to their account in a machine-readable format. This includes content like posts, photos, videos, as well as other accounts. The bill establishes enforcement mechanisms, including civil penalties for violations, entitles violating the prohibition or distributing, maintaining, or updating, blah, blah. The bill includes provisions for exemptions through qualified divestitures, where if a certain conditions are met, they satisfy the requirements set by the president through the interagency process. So there we go. Look at that. That was a good little AI summary. What? What is happening here? What is happening here? Breaking news. Breaking news out of Georgia. Georgia. Judge overseeing Georgia election interference cases dismisses some of the charges against Trump. Judge overseeing the jury dismissed some of the charges, but others remain. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee wrote Wednesday in order that 6 of the charges in the indictment must be quashed, including 3 against Trump. The 6 charges in question have to do with soliciting elected officials to violate their oaths of office. That includes 2 charges related to phone calls Trump made to Brad Raffensperger. Okay. So this is a thing. This, according to WBAL, but it's an AP story. Let's just do a little searching ourselves. Trump, McAfee. Partial dismissal. Okay. Well, let's take a look here. All right, we're going to read it. Let's read it. The defendant's challenge counts blah, 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 by way of a special demurrer. Demurrers provide a mean for the criminally accused to ensure that the state's charging document satisfies the constitutional mandates of due process. Okay, I don't understand any of this shit. Turning to the indictment itself, these 6 challenge counts charge various defendants with solicitation of the violation of the oath of a public officer. Count 2 alleges that multiple defendants solicited elected members of the Georgia Senate to violate their oaths of office on December 3rd by requesting or inopportuning them to unlawfully appoint presidential electors. Count 5 alleges that Donald Trump solicited the Speaker of the Georgia House of Representatives to violate his oath of office on December 7th. Count 6 alleges that defendants Smith and Giuliani solicited members of the Georgia House of Representatives to violate their oaths of office. Count 28 alleges that defendants Trump and Meadows solicited the Georgia Secretary of State to violate his oath of office by requesting or inopportuning him to unlawfully influence the certified election results. And count 38 alleges that defendant Trump solicited the Georgia Secretary of State to violate his oath of office. Defendants argue that the charging language does not cite the oath. This admission is legally harmless as the code provides only one relevant option. Even if the relevant oaths are apparent as a matter of law, the defendants further contend that the counts do not detail the exact term of the oaths that are alleged to be violated. The state first responds that the defendants are only charged with solicitation, not violation of the oath of office, and argues that the, quote, great weight of authority has never required charging language to reach beyond the elements of solicitation itself. But Sanders tells us that the elements of the underlying predicate felony that is alleged to have been solicited cannot be so easily ignored. In Sanders, the Georgia Supreme Court found a special demurrer should have been granted when an indictment failed to sufficiently allege the underlying felony solicited by the defendant. Okay, so this is all about oaths of office. This has nothing to do with Fani Willis, which Judge McAfee will decide on soon. But it does take out the charges of solicitation. I believe, and I am not a lawyer, but I believe that leaves all of the other felony counts of the actual creating of a fake elector slate or alternate elector slate if you're nasty. But it is not another good mark on Fani Willis. That, I think, is probably the biggest takeaway, is that things are not looking great for District Attorney Willis. It's bad and getting worse. Well, the RICO charge is still, I mean, those were part of the RICO charges. They were part of the crimes that you would prove through a RICO case. And at this point, I don't know if the Trump campaign wants her to be disqualified or they want her to be there. Because the biggest thing that they want is to demonstrate that they're out to get him and that the people that are doing it are sloppy. And I think having Nathan Wade and Fani Willis on television every day, which they will be, because we've now been introduced to them and they're famous. Like we could be at OJ levels of, Marsha Clark and Chris Darden For those too young, they became very, very famous during the OJ trial on whether or not they were dating. No, we're not wrong. Will be recorded after this. We're talking TikTok. We're talking Boeing. And then the Patreon, we are talking about Kate Middleton. We're doing Kate Middleton conspiracies. My take on old Ken Buck. The Republicans are in disarray. That's my take on Ken Buck. Ken Buck was retiring anyway, but he's going to peace out early. I guess he has a tea time to make. It further strains the Republican majority such that you can call it. I believe the Republican majority is at 2 now. Can Pilot call in to talk planes? I got info from him. I got my briefing from Pilot. Don't worry. Pilot's POV will be recorded on We're Not Wrong. How effed is Big Mike Johnson now with a 2-vote majority? 1 vote more than he was before, which is, look, dude is crushed. Like, have you guys seen the Hale Durnitz sketch, the Mitchell and Webb sketch? So it's a premise based on a real event that when Hitler killed himself, there was a new Führer, very briefly. And so the sketch is about that moment. And he gets the promotion. He's very excited about it. And then he calls his wife to tell her the good news that he got a promotion, like anybody who got a promotion at work would do. And he just says the phrase, "Well, they weren't going to give it to me if everything was going great." That's what I think about with Mike Johnson. Not that he's the new Fuhrer, but just that phrase. Well, they weren't going to give it to me if everything was going great. And so there we go. Yeah, Knooch has the juice here. Lauren Boebert was going to run for his seat in November. If Buck is retiring early, that means that there's going to be a special election. And so now Lauren Boebert has to either resign, therefore bringing the Republican majority down to Weedham ones, and win that special election, be the incumbent, and then run again in November, or have somebody win and run against an incumbent in that seat. Now, no matter what, she'll probably have the most money and by far have the most name recognition. But it further complicates her relationship with a district that she has never run in before. She ran into the hills. There were elements of her district now that were more blue, and she has decided that she is going to run in another district that she's never won in before. I would assume she can win there easily, but now she's going to have to do it twice. And it is official. The bill that we just reviewed here, the TikTok bill. Wait, no, wrong one. That has now passed the House. It is now up to the Senate, which is not particularly excited about it. But it is led by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who has not found a way to bash China that he has not liked. He has talked a lot about China. That man rips China whenever he gets a chance. When I was in New York, when I was a New York resident, he ripped Chinatown buses. That's how much this man gets up China. But he hasn't said a lot about it. And there's been a lot of wait and see. And since Joe Biden has already come out and said he'd sign it, you got to wonder if he knows it's not going to make it to his desk. But like we said in the Tom episode or the Tom interview in PX3 today, we're always one whistleblower. We are one, especially if Democrats are deciding this, we're just one report with 99 experts away from this getting to Biden's desk. And he said that he would sign it. What does TikTok do that other companies don't? Are owned by a company that is subservient to the Chinese Communist Party. That's what they do. Other companies, social media companies that are popular in America are subservient to America. And TikTok is as well. But, it's kind of like a dual parentage situation. Unfortunately for TikTok, they got so big. They are king media. Twitter used to be the place where stories would grow and then become bigger. Now there's no doubt that it's TikTok. It is TikTok. That's it. It's the only place where you get new eyeballs. It's the only place where things that go viral become the kind of stories that they used to on Twitter. What got the House all fired up about it is a intelligence report that showed the algorithm for TikTok was super juiced to show anti-Israeli content after the war started on October 7th. That was looked at by intelligence officials and now the House of Representatives as a sign that China is looking to sow division amongst the American populace. This is not commensurate with other foreign skirmishes. This was an out-and-out propaganda campaign, according to them. And so, if China is hostile, then, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. Famous on Twitter says that Singapore is not China. And indeed, ByteDance is currently headquartered in Singapore. It has a Singaporean CEO. ByteDance was founded in mainland China and has offices in Beijing. I will say anecdotally, knowing people that work at TikTok, they deal with calls from Beijing a lot. They don't deal with calls from Chengdu as much. Take that for what you will. Do you think this bill will pass the Supreme Court First Amendment challenge? I don't know. We're dealing with a lot of lawyer stuff. Certainly, they will put a lot of muscle into it. ByteDance will. Because ByteDance doesn't want to sell. A reminder that this is not an out-and-out ban. This is a call for divestment, meaning that ByteDance would have to sell their share of TikTok to somebody else. If they don't do that, the enforcement mechanism is a ban. I don't know about this brief. Did they present any proof that they deliberately altered the algorithm or are just citing how certain videos shot up to favorites? Well, let's look it up. Let's look up the exact because I'm kind of paraphrasing here based on shit that I've read. U.S. intelligence, TikTok, Israel. All right, let's. This is posted here on Marco Rubio's website. This is a a testimony with Christopher Wray. I talked about TikTok in the opening just to lay the groundwork here. TikTok is a company headquartered punitively in America, and they have this platform which is fascinating. It's very effective. It has a lot of members. One of the things that powers it is an algorithm based on artificial intelligence, where the more you use it, the more it learns about you. In essence, it reads your mind. It knows the kinds of videos you like, and it feeds you more and more of them, causing you to go back. The algorithm is not owned by TikTok. It's owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company, correct? He should have said, You lingered. You lingered, Mark. That's my understanding, Ray. Rubio. The only way the algorithm works is that a Chinese company has access to the data being generated by TikTok, the owner of the algorithm. ByteDance has to have access, so it doesn't matter where the data is stored. Ultimately, they have access to it in order to make the algorithm work, correct? Christopher Wray, this from the FBI, head of the FBI. Right. The key part is that the parent company, for all intents and purposes, is beholden to the Chinese Communist Party. Rubio. Well, if ByteDance in China is the one that owns the driver that makes TikTok effective, isn't it true that under Chinese law, the Chinese Communist Party says, quote, that data that you're gaining access to in order to make your algorithm work, we want a copy of that data. And if they said that to ByteDance in the future, ByteDance would have to give it to them. Ray, that's my understanding. And if they went to them and said, we want you to change your algorithm so that Americans start seeing videos that hurt this candidate or help that candidate in the upcoming election, ByteDance would have to do it under Chinese law. Ray, that's my understanding. And if they said, we want you to put out videos to make Americans fight with each other or spread conspiracy theories to get them at each other's throats, ByteDance can't go to Chinese court and fight the Chinese Communist Party. They'd have to do it. Ray, that's my understanding. And I would just add the kind of influence operation or other kinds of influence operations you're describing are extraordinarily difficult to detect, which is part of what makes the national security concerns represented by TikTok so significant. Where will I get all my free sexual videos if they ban TikTok? Reddit. Oh. China's government has used the wildly popular video sharing app TikTok to influence recent U.S. elections, the American intelligence community warned in its annual threat assessment Monday. The warning comes during an election year as the House prepares to vote on legislation to force China's ByteDance to divest from TikTok. Congress is pursuing the legislation over national security concerns about the Chinese government's access to U.S. user data and its ability to conduct influence campaigns on the platform. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the head of U.S.'s 18 intelligence agencies, releases a yearly assessment on the major threats to the nation's interests around the world. This year's report said TikTok accounts run by the Chinese propaganda arm reportedly targeted candidates from both political parties during the U.S. midterm election cycle in 2022. It warned that China's government may, quote, attempt to influence U.S. elections in 2024 at some level because of its desire to sideline critics of China and magnify U.S. societal divisions. It said Beijing now has more capabilities to conduct covert influence operations and disseminate disinformation, that such operations may be carried out by individuals not under its direct supervision. It's specifically increasing its effort to mold U.S. public discourse around its sovereignty issues and territorial claims in Hong Kong, Taiwan, Tibet, and Xinjiang. The report added that China monitors Chinese students studying abroad for dissident views and has influenced research by U.S. academics and think tank experts. Overall, the report said that the U.S. will face an increasingly fragile global order strained by competitive state actors, including China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, regional conflicts, and other disruptive technologies, and the economic toll of climate change. The world that emerges from this tumultuous period will be shaped by, this is a direct quote, whoever offers the most persuasive arguments for how the world should be governed, how society should be organized, and which systems are most effective at advancing economic growth and providing benefits for more people. And by the powers, both state and non-state, that are able and willing to get the solutions on transnational issues and regional crises. Said the fierce ongoing competition between authoritarian and democratic forms of government has damaged efforts to encourage cooperative efforts on global issues like climate change. It said emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and biotechnologies will exacerbate the competition. We, on the other side, we regularly take, so this is a TikTok spokesperson, we regularly take action against deceptive behavior, including covert influence networks throughout the world, and have been transparent in reporting them publicly. TikTok has protected our platform through more than 150 elections globally and is continuing to work. Blah, 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 blah. It's not 100% out of the question that China does actually do these things in China. It's not out of the question, but probably not likely. If the US can be destroyed by TikTok, it probably deserves to be destroyed. I mean, what do you look? I'm more of a China hawk than like Tom is. I tend to believe that anything China can do, China will do. I tend to believe that with China's economic push that sought to make them the number one economic power in the world has fallen short. That does not seem like that will happen within the next, decade. And so there is a large question throughout the Western world, of which America is unquestionably at the forefront of, especially through technology. In a collapsed media environment, meaning that we used to have X amount of networks, Y amount of newspapers, Z amount of magazines. The FBI had all those numbers. If something was going on, they could give them a call. We don't have that anymore. Now we got a cajillion people that control small pockets of influence. Some microscopic pockets of influence, like this one that you're engaging in right now. And so the cultural influence of, in a world without kingdoms, warlords like Google, warlords like Meta, and now warlords like ByteDance become a fixation. There's a reason why we've talked a lot about misinformation and disinformation. I can tell you for a fact that the FBI is very concerned about this. relationships with these organizations become very important to the American government. And it is very clear that the American government and its intelligence agencies do not believe that they have a good relationship with ByteDance. They do not feel like they are being told the truth by ByteDance. And ultimately, I don't think that they believe that ByteDance can tell the truth, because ByteDance runs a very popular app in China. And while TikTok does well, it doesn't do Douyin well. So ultimately, this is about culture. I am with Tom that if you're going to be worried about Chinese controlled apps, about connecting to Wi-Fi networks and stuff like that, you're going to have to ban a lot more than TikTok. The difference is that TikTok is culture right now. It has a significant cultural footprint. Is Foxconn subservient to China like TikTok is? Yes. Anything that operates in China is beholden to the Chinese Communist Party. Full stop. Now, in America, you are subservient to American law as well. But there is a history of people fighting against what American law says they can and can't do. There is not the same in China. So logically, we need to ban iPhones. It's funny. There's actually a process, an FCC process on how things, especially things that are manufactured in China, have to go through various different rigorous things. And remember, there was that Bloomberg report a couple years ago about a Chinese hack on Apple chips. Without TikTok, how will I find out how the world cruise went? I mean, on Meta, on Google, like on YouTube Shorts. That's, if TikTok is toast, and let me make it clear, we are closer to that than we've ever been. We are closer to that now. We are like 3 senators deciding that this is better for them to ban TikTok than not. And politicians, they're scared little lemmings. So right now they're thinking, okay, think. Chuck Schumer, think. Okay. On one hand, I got a lot of angry people. With me. And the White House, they're saying, be careful with this. Got a lot of angry teens, very mad at me. This is me essentially killing MTV in the 80s and 90s. This is me killing Saturday morning cartoons in the 70s. This is huge. Okay. All right. Or everybody who votes against this has an ad running against them saying that they bowed down to China. This is like killing YA vampire novels in the 2000s. Does this bill kill influencers' business models? Then I'm all for it. Whoa! Watch it, mighty DH. Some of us have a living. Come on. Jeez. Why is China a bad guy? Oh, well, they are our largest geopolitical rival. Like all geopolitical rivals, there is, I think, only a foolhardy sense that they believe that they have our best interest at heart, much like it would be foolhardy for us to believe that we have China's best interest at heart. But if we want to get into specifically bad things from a Western perspective, if we believe in Western ideals, China just comes from a different culture. They just fundamentally don't believe in some of the things that we believe in. ATL John Boy, no longer true. ATL John Boy says it's our number one trading partner. Untrue. Mexico is. That happened this year. Number two. It was true for a long time. Will a TikTok ban hold up in court? I mean, if you're doing it based on national security stuff, that's not just a straight out First Amendment thing. Where does Mexico get its chips? Asked Spin Dash. Corn. Mostly corn. You know, get a little pico, right? A little habanero salsa, huh? Little corn chips. Dip them in there. You love it. You love it. Mostly corn. Yeah, look, the silicon chips by and large come from Taiwan. We are probably 10 years behind where we should have been if we wanted to be a chips manufacturer powerhouse. That being said, because of AI, there is a tremendous need for compute. So we're probably close to on time for where we're going to need to be. Like, we're going to need to scale up tremendously in terms of chip fab in general. There's a reason why Sam Altman is going to like the Saudis and saying, I need $5 trillion so I can start a chip company, because it's going to be worth it. But still, we got to do it. We got to do it. And China's relationship with Taiwan, which China refers to as China, and Taiwan refers to themselves as China, complicated. It's complicated. Is there a ding? Is there a ding going off? Oh. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it was a notification. I don't have my headphones on here, but I just muted it. Why don't we just invade China? Says Old Growth Canopy. We found William Crystal's alt. Gotcha, Billy. Gotcha. Can't be sneaking through my chat like that. It is a fancy new MacBook. I do use an iPhone. Got the iPhone here. Let me ask you guys a question. So on Friday's show, I've teased the idea of doing a episode about what if Donald Trump and Joe Biden die. Right? That's what I've promised. And I will do that episode either Friday or Wednesday. But I had another interview land in my lap that I'm going to do today with Gabe Fleischer of Wake Up to Politics that I think is good. It's going to be good. It's going to be a really good interview. And so I've got 2 interviews that I can just put together and make that my Friday episode and spend the weekend doing a deeper dive on what happens if Trump and Biden die. And I think I'm leaning toward that, which will mean me disappointing people because I said Friday was going to do it. But I think, I don't know, it'll be a 2 interview episode on Friday. But the other thing is like, so this Gabe Fleischer interview, it's about an article that he wrote like 5 days ago. So if I save it till next Wednesday, it's going to be a week old article. And like, I don't know. Are we talking about a debate, murder, suicide? All right. I'm going to use the bathroom and get another cup of coffee. I will be right back. All right. Is the USA flag stars Accra purposely reflecting in the YouTube? What are your takes so far if Biden dies? El Condor Pasta. Well, that's what I want to build the episode around because, first and foremost, I hate talking about it. And this is a preview of kind of the opening for the episode. I am of the shout out to Matthew Berry, fellow Syracuse University alum, and probably the person that I've listened to the most about fantasy football throughout my life. But when he talks about drafting players in fantasy football, he never talks about their injury history because his point of view is you can't go into drafting somebody assuming they're going to get injured. You got to like them for what they're doing. You got to like them for what they can do. If you get into the world of probability on injury, you're just in, it's just not statistically relevant. Either it happens or it doesn't. Act of God, it is what it is. And I'm like that when it comes to the presidential stuff. I think it's macabre. I think it's kind of gross. And I also think that it's unlikely. It's statistically very unlikely that these two people, for whom we'll have a lot of attention paid to their health, will die. Say what you will about Joe Biden's physical condition. I don't believe that he is Dianne Feinstein. I don't believe that he is in a situation like that. So, with that throat clearing preface, it's a lot. If you're going to get serious about it, it's not about if they die, it's about when they die. Donald Trump dying before the convention is very different than Donald Trump dying after the convention. Joe Biden dying before the convention is very different than Joe Biden dying after the convention. What I mostly need to do in terms of research is figuring out comps for Trump, a candidate that a candidate that essentially was the front runner, was the presumptive nominee, and then died, or somebody that got the nomination and then died. This has never happened in the modern convention sense. So we'd be doing a lot of kind of humming along to figure it out. In fact, you want to know what? It might be Bobby Kennedy. The Trump comp would probably be Bobby Kennedy, who got killed because he was somebody that was looked at as the presumptive nominee. Of course, in terms of being an incumbent, the comp is Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was shot at a campaign rally or a campaign stop in Dallas. A lot of people don't remember that, except for people who listen to Raise the Dead, my history podcast about the 1960 and 1964 elections and respective seasons. But the Biden side is a little bit more clear cut. Essentially, Kamala Harris becomes Lyndon Johnson. And so the nation goes into mourning. We will think about Joe Biden dead differently than we think about him alive. It's a lot easier to be mean to a living old man than it is to be mean to a dead old man. At which point, Kamala Harris will be lauded as somebody who has kept the country together throughout a sweeping moment of grief. And history says we would probably get Kamala Harris. Like, that's what history says. Probably. At least if you're taking the 1964 election. Speak for yourself. I shit on LBJ all the time, and he's been dead for ages, says Fallen Shroud. Yes, It's easier to be mean to dead old men the longer they've been dead. Let me add the caveat there. There's a window where people don't like to be mean. And no matter what, that in the window between now and election day is going to affect how the Donald Trump campaign can run against Kamala Harris. Does MAGA go buck wild if Trump dies? I guess that also gets into how they die. I don't know if it really matters if Joe Biden dies of a heart attack or if he dies of a bullet. Well, if he dies of a bullet, no, that now it's like January 666. It's fucking mark of the beast. Holy shit. Oh my God. The world is falling apart. So it does matter. Oh God. Yeah, no, this has got to be on Wednesday. If the ballots are already printed, the vice president, yeah, I mean, look, we are in a binary world when it comes to American politics. So if Joe Biden died after the convention and the ballots were printed, Kamala Harris was the nominee, she would just be running without a vice president. And then she would name a vice president at some point. If Trump is killed, I mean, I think we're in a situation where his vice president would be a very prohibitive favorite. Um, the Democrats would pretty much lose. We're assuming this is political violence, right? We're assuming that the person that kills Donald Trump doesn't like him. Uh, Again, this is why I hate getting into this because they're like, this is different on some level if it's like a disgruntled MAGA person versus somebody who has been driven to the point of violence because they believe Donald Trump is an existential threat. I mean, the absolute best case scenario for Trump is that he shot Teddy Roosevelt style and lives, right? Or Reagan, you know. He takes a bullet and is like, "I'm still going." If both of them die at the same damn time, so a debate murder suicide, I feel like we're negated. We're negated at that point. I don't think that I don't think that we see I mean, also, that would be the craziest thing that's ever happened in American politics. So there's like no way I can know. There's no comps. No comps to both people dying at the same time. It is extraordinarily unlikely for one of them to die. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about this, this is a whole episode. Like, this is just a monologue episode. If they both die, we finally get age limits. I don't think so. Merrill, you want these people alive because if they're dead, then people are going to protect the dead. Like the best thing for term limits or age limits or competency test or something is Dianne Feinstein. That's the best case scenario. Is that it gets so gross and weird that there's a lot of discourse about it before it ends. ICU was pointing out Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell's not Dianne Feinstein. Mitch McConnell is probably too old to be the leader, right? But, in terms of somebody who glitches out like that, it's been a lot of senators. That's not odd. It's just odd for somebody who has to talk that much. How much mental decline will there have to be for a party not to even cover it up? Ugh. I don't know. I don't know. I never considered Biden dying. I always figured he'd retire early. Well, you and I have different expectations of Joe Biden. Sorry. That's the one thing about this platform that stinks is links. Links are not easy to get to. Nope. All right, I'll have to save this for research. Thank you to whoever gave me the ABC News link. P Guytron. Have we talked about who Trump will pick as his running mate? That seems like a less gross conversation. It certainly is. And again, the preface to all of this, is that I don't like talking about the dead thing, but I will do it for one episode. Trump is just out there. He's just totally saying unhinged stuff. If I'm concerned about people, must be going nuts and cannot sleep at night. Is it just me? Trump's saying less unhinged stuff this time than he ever has, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know how much people watch this guy talk, but like the stuff that is being ginned up as like totally unhinged are like fairly clear, like misunderstandings or mischaracterizations of what he's saying. In the past, he would just out and out say like, wacky stuff. Like he would just attack Ben Carson's entire life. The Orban stuff got to me, I must admit. So Orban came to visit. He's a head of state. Like him or not like him, and I'm not a gigantic fan. But it's like, this gets into this idea of what do we do in situations where we're dealing with countries for which we don't agree with in terms of our Western values? What do we do? Talking about the Saudi Arabias, talking about the Chinas, right? Like people that we have business dealings with. Like the way that I don't think that the way that Biden handled it was good. Biden came out full of piss and vinegar like he was writing a live journal talking about how uh thread Saudi Arabia is a disgusting disgrace, and I'll relegate them to the pariah status that they should be. Well, how's it going now? He had to go grovel at the man's feet, Crown Prince bin Salman, and he was relying on Saudi Arabia to normalize relations with Israel. All right. This is what our old boy was fired up about. Kez. No. God damn it. Why can't I just copy this shit? It's always such a fucking headache. Stupid. All right. This is what got our boy all fired up here. Trump highlights praise from Orban after Biden criticizes meeting. Former President Donald Trump highlighted praise from Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban in social media posts on Sunday, shortly after President Biden criticized Trump for hosting the autocrat at Mar-a-Lago. Trump, the only remaining GOP candidate running for president, promoted a video from the Hungarian autocrat. Got autocrat twice in 2 paragraphs. And reposted Orban's praise of him as a president of peace. He commanded respect in the world and created the conditions for peace during his presidency. There was peace in the Middle East and peace in Ukraine. We need him back in power more than ever. Thank you for the invitation, Mr. President. Trump faced sharp criticism over the weekend from Biden, who will likely be Trump's Democratic opponent. Biden has made the fight for democracy central to his 2024 campaign and slammed Trump for hosting the Hungarian prime minister and his daughter to the former president's Florida estate. You know who he's meeting with today in Mar-a-Lago, Biden said at a campaign event? Orban of Hungary, who stated flatly he doesn't think democracy works. He's looking for dictatorship. Biden added to world leaders have told him that Trump can't win again because my democracy is at stake. Biden claimed that 9 heads of state underscored the importance of his victory in November. When Biden was leaving the White House for Philadelphia, he asked if he was concerned that Trump is meeting with Orban. If I'm not, you should be. So here's the question that I would have. And again, my wife is here.
Hi.
Hi, wife. Here would be the question. Should United States heads of state meet with dictators? Because we have in the past. We have dictators. We have autocrats in America all the time. It's a matter of whether or not they are allies or not. Hungary is not a strategic ally. Hungary has become more of a right-coded situation because of Hungary's policies in terms of immigrants. But And also their relative. This is a whole nother thing about their relative ethnic and political connections to Russia. But like, what is the policy there? What should the policy be? All right. Hi, wife.
It's me.
I'm going to have to figure out this lighting because we have a problem with that light. Here, I'll show you.
Hey, I was going to say I don't look like a spooky ghost.
Oh, wait,
for a
hold on.
change.
Also, your mic's not on.
My mic's not on.
There we go. Your mic's
Hi. Ooh. I was going to say I don't look like a spooky ghost for a change. Usually I'm quite, oh, there we go. Ooh. So spooky. The other side of the couch still looks really dark.
No, I know.
Yeah, I'm way too pale next to you. I thought I'd come up here instead of looking for jobs because this is more fun.
You want to talk TikTok?
I mean, we can.
You're a big TikTok fan.
I am.
You are upset.
I'm very upset. I think this is very stupid.
We've never been closer to TikTok being banned.
I know. I've been looking for jobs at TikTok.
I was gonna say, yeah. You you came close.
Yeah, I had it wasn't the right fit for a bunch of reasons, but
yeah,
I've had I think 2 different conversations with TikTok for different roles now.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility.
And
it still could be a possibility in my future.
We have friends that are there.
Several.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. The whole thing just feels like a fucking farce to me.
You don't think that you've been radicalized by TikTok?
Not any more than Facebook, man. Like, I think, all these companies have algorithms, right? And you are going to, with the things that you agree with, you're going to get served more of that content. You can make the exact same argument about any platform that uses an algorithm. Now, I do think TikTok by far has the best algorithm, and to the point to where I manipulate it based off of what I want to watch and see. So, I'll give them credit for that, but I think it's, it's the same as Facebook. I feel like we've all got relatives, especially older relatives that maybe aren't as internet literate, who also like, kind of get into these radicalized holes, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or what have you.
Yeah.
So I think my problem with the TikTok thing is it just feels very pointed over the fear of China and China access to our data.
China.
How true or not that is, but I do think, look, I'm very pro regulation when it comes to like data and everything, but to only kind of pick on TikTok and be like, well, you gotta sell kind of thing is just feels really stupid, instead of like, hey, whatever regulation you want to put in place that would make Americans' data more protected, right? And apply that to Facebook, apply that to YouTube,
I mean, that's
like
what I think,
all of these.
I think what this has come down to is that it's not really about the data. It's not really about the spy app thing. I think Tom on the show made a really good point that, like, if we're worried about that, then worry about 70 different free-to-play games that are owned by China and similarly have access to your YouTube, to your Wi-Fi and all the things that you're worried about in terms of location stuff. Look,
we're not playing by the same rules for US companies.
Well, and by the way, nor is it subject to that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not like, US companies play by different rules. Yes, but they all do. Like, that's not necessarily a novel argument. What is different is that TikTok owns culture right now. Like, not only through its usage, but if you look at like news stories in other places, how many of them are recycled from TikTok?
I'll give it that for sure, because
so
it is
that's what's at, like, that's the reason why it's getting banned now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or why it's facing the thing that it's facing is that an American company does not control American culture right now. And that is, I think, terrifying for business. It's terrifying for tech. It's terrifying for government. And so what you're seeing is a lot of anxiety about that of, well, what could happen? Now, what's funny is that we run culture everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't like it if somebody else is doing it here, but we run culture everywhere.
I also just feel like that's a cycle, kind of like in culture in every tech company. Like there was a point where YouTube drove culture, a point where like Twitter popping off was like a real cultural phenomenon. And now it's TikTok. You know, the US just doesn't happen to quote unquote own it. Right. But I don't know. Flow of information, I think, is important, and as frustrated as and scared as Congress or whoever is with it. Like, I don't think that's a good reason to ban it. Like, put regulations into place.
Yeah.
But to ban it feels like, it feels borderline authoritarian.
Well, number one, let's be fair. They are not banning it.
It's effectively.
They're demanding that ByteDance divest themselves.
Sure.
And should ByteDance not, they won't.
Yeah.
Then it gets banned.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a shitty argument to say it's not banned, because effectively that's what they're doing. It's similar like the abortion laws, right? Oh, it's not banned. There's just all these things that we're doing to make it harder, right?
Well, no,
so like,
I mean, that actually is banned.
Well, in certain states, but the way that some of these laws go into effect, like it's not banned, but then they do other things to make access more difficult. So like ultimately this feels very similar to me in terms of strategy. It's like, oh, we're not banning, we're just protecting. And I don't know, it just makes me mad. It's really dumb. And the biggest
thing is also that like TikTok doesn't own the algorithm that runs TikTok. ByteDance owns the algorithm that runs TikTok. And China has said you are not allowed to sell the algorithm. You are not allowed to license the algorithm. And so at that point, it kind of, I mean, there's a lot of ways to dissect this, but like, that's another reason why people are like, okay, wait, so who runs this? Who's actually in charge here? If you wouldn't even be allowed, let's say that America facilitated, if not partially paid for, a gigantic sum of money so an American company could license that algorithm without any control or oversight from China. You forked it, and so now TikTok had their own version of it, different than what the Douyin one was, and blah blah blah. And ByteDance or whatever got a annual check for it, and China says no, not allowed. Then you're it's hard pressed to say that you have that kind of independence. You can't even make the deal if you wanted to.
Yeah.
She says no. I don't know what no is in China, but I should look that up.
I used to. I don't anymore.
Let's ask. Hold on.
I know. Thank you.
How do you say no in China?
In Mandarin Chinese, no is 不是.
Xi says bullshit.
I don't think you get the tones right, but it's fine.
Bullshit.
I say bullshit. That's what I say.
Oh, all right. I'm your ByteDancer, dancer for data. Do what you want me to do. If you're the CCP.
Yeah.
I say we preemptively move PX3 to OnlyFans. You think so?
Not showing his feet.
I show my feet on the stream all the time.
Why?
People yell at me. They say, don't give it away for free. Keep that behind the paywall.
Only feet. You can have an only feet account.
I don't know. We had a game a couple months ago where we tried to find out whether or not we have WikiFeet. Which of our friends have WikiFeet profiles?
I think we talked about this a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to mention.
All of our female influencer friends do. The males, not so much.
If anyone finds a WikiFeed account for Justin, send it to me.
Yeah, because she has some hot pics she wants to add.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to
I got a
bolster
few I can add to the.
her super uploader profile to get a badge.
Yeah.
Nathan John says with Jen Buck, I think you mean Ken Buck, leaving is it going to F Bobert's run? We mentioned this before. This is a tricky situation for Lauren Boebert because she was planning on running for Ken Buck's seat in the fall. He's leaving early, therefore creating a special election. So either she needs to resign from Congress, run in that special election, therefore putting the GOP majority at 1, or she lets somebody else be the incumbent and then runs against them in the fall. We're going to find out. It doesn't F her run, but it does make a lot of things more complicated, not only for Boebert, but also for the Republican majority in the House. What about a Wiki Knees account? Ooh.
I'll just.
No, you're allowed to show the knees
For free?
for free. Yeah, good.
Mm-hmm.
Get people, get the people going.
Yeah.
A lot of my viewership is on X now.
Really
Yeah,
interesting.
I have no idea.
If anyone is actually watching on X, you should tweet Justin. And
Yeah,
let
throw
him
up your
know.
X's in the chat. That's the funny thing is I don't think that my followers have gone up at all.
Yeah.
So I don't. I mean, like
I assume it's like a scroll by
stats,
count.
Yeah,
you
these stats are a little juked, in my opinion.
Lots of.
Oh, look at this! Hi, real X users. There's somebody.
Wow. Welcome.
Yeah, there we go. We're only showing X comments for the next 10 minutes. So all you Twitch people, you YouTube people. I'm not live on TikTok.
Yeah.
Because I need 1,000
followers.
1,000 followers to go live.
You're too
and I
small.
don't think that I'm there yet. I'm so small.
I follow you.
I know.
I
Well,
like
thank you,
all
wife.
your content too.
Thank you. Yeah, I am at 542 followers.
So if everyone watching could just follow him on TikTok before it's banned.
Yeah. There we go. Meryl's on X.
Is it just Justin? Is it Justin R. Young?
Justin R. Young on the talk. For now, until it gets banned.
But are you a shill for the CCP? Is that why you have an account? Just like Joe Biden.
Bushy.
Stop trying. It sounds bad.
You know, look, you've got a history of telling me that I'm racist in terms of pronunciation until you find out that I am absolutely not racist.
You did ask on your phone how to say no in China.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of different Chinese languages.
And it gave me the most popular one. Yeah.
I don't know what to do with you.
When we were in Japan, we were doing the Hank bit. We're not going to go into it, but we keep calling each other Hank, a dirty British street goose. And I was referring to her as Hanku, which I was saying was the Japanese Hank. And she was like, fuck you. You're racist. You're being so racist right now. Then we looked up how to say Hank in Japan. And guess what it was? What was it? What was it, wife?
Just because you were right doesn't mean that it was a racist.
Oh, look at that. You are the real Hanku.
Sometimes I wonder why we're married still.
See, X rules, Twitch rules. We have X people. We have X amount of viewers.
They should talk more.
It's not a talking platform, man. It's not a chat platform. Because otherwise you're just like a reply guy. You know, you have to be a certain kind of person to be a reply guy. Just like be all up in the replies.
I often forget that like X is still a thing. because I feel like it hasn't been useful for me in a while.
Yeah. Are you on Blue Sky?
Technically, but I don't really use it either.
Are you on Threads?
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
I have Threads. I have Blue Sky. I
I
have a Peach account.
I never signed up for Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you should do it just to lock your name in.
So look, this is what it's doing. When you
Mm.
turn it up super high, this light does a little flicker.
Little strobe light effect. God,
Yeah, which is bad.
I look like I'm blue.
Abu Di Abu Di.
Yeah. See, this is why I can't come on your screen. Your stream. I'm too pale. Doesn't work.
So yeah, I gotta figure out something to do with the lighting. We actually might need to shut down the stream so I can figure this out because I got a bunch of people to light.
Just started today.
No.
Hmm.
It started.
Why don't you use the ring light?
I can. I don't know if that's gonna be too direct. I guess I could also bounce
Yeah.
that off the ceiling.
Yeah, you can lean it back. That gets pretty bright.
Yeah.
That was my kitchen stream light.
Uh-huh.
Though I don't know what happened to the China ball.
China ball.
Um,
Yeah, because that's what I want to replace that. Or I was thinking, why don't I just get better lights for the candelabra?
you just replace it.
Well, I mean, that would be the China ball
Yeah.
solution. Yeah. But or I could just get better bulbs and I could light it and I could, I mean, I guess if I got like 5 or 6 really good LED bulbs, I could kind of color temp match it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
we don't have to do tech support on stream.
Tech support on stream. Everybody loves tech support on stream. Because see, now I'm too dark. Now I'm a little shadowy. I'm a little mysterious.
Keep being mysterious. I'll mess around with it.
I switched from Blue Chew to generic Viagra from Mark Cuban's online pharmacy. So much cheaper. Good. Good. Congratulations on your hard penis, Chatter. Congratulations. Justin, what do you think about live streaming episodes of We're Not Wrong eventually? That is something for which I am only 1/3. Can you hear that? I am only 1/3 of that particular group, and the other two are not nearly as comfortable with live streaming as I am. I've live streamed most of the issues in my life. They have not. I don't think I've ever asked for anything to be cut out of an episode. They have both repeatedly asked for things to be cut out. So video is going to be the best that we can do. I also like We're Not Wrong as just a recorded thing and not a live stream thing because live streaming does change the dynamic. I think I can handle it a little bit better because I've been live streaming stuff forever, but like they have not. And if you're worried about the chat, it's just something in your head that keeps going forward. And right now I like the dynamic. The dynamic's working, you know? People fight with each other. I like people fighting with each other.
Yeah.
You know? We did some live react stuff in the past. Yeah, we did. I think when we got to 1,000, we did a live stream, like an AMA live stream. Maybe we can do that. Shit. Speaking about that, they're going to be here in 15 minutes. I got to leave. Yeah.
Well, hi, guys. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
I love you.
Live chatting on Twitter sucks. Yeah. But hopefully people are watching. If you're watching and you don't follow me, then WTF, mate. Otherwise, okay. That's it. Justin's not worried about chat. No, I love chat. I love chat.
It is a different experience. So if you're not used to it,
Yeah. It's just a different way of going about things.
I did a lot of in my early days at Twitch, did a lot of like bringing new people to Twitch and like kind of teaching them about live and everything. And most of those people were either YouTubers already or like podcasters.
Yeah.
And there definitely is a huge learning curve to like not, to having someone talk to you while you're used to kind of like putting your performance face on, whatever your performance face is.
It's two different muscles.
Yeah.
It's like if you only worked out your upper body and then all of a sudden you had to do lower body, like, it's just a different way of going about things. Like
Yeah.
in general, like there's best practices, but it's not anywhere close to the same.
That's why a lot of people, like, they might not do a podcast live, but they might do something separately that can give more attention to the chat so it doesn't throw off their
Ultimately,
product.
that's what like I've had to do.
Yeah.
Even though now I'm doing more live to tape stuff because of the YouTube, but really it took Riverside for me to do it.
Yeah.
Riverside, like I had a thing during the episode yesterday where I sneezed during the recording and I was like, God, this is going to be a pain in the ass. But Riverside made it really easy to edit the video. It's always very easy to edit the audio. If I wanted to take the audio from the video, I can just pump it out via Riverside. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. Bye. We're leaving.
I love you guys.
See ya.
Bye.